Starting now. Hello and welcome to this session of Facebook Live with me, Mambo ni Fresh na Mutua, and it's going to be an exciting time. So here, let us interact and let's keep on talking.
Hello. Okay, I have you on now. You're on.
So as it is today, let me start with a few remarks. You know, where we are today as our country, Kenya, we have to ask ourselves, where are we? You know, when I was growing up, I grew up quite poor, and when I got a sponsorship or a scholarship to go to the US, when I landed in the US wearing mitumba clothes, because we were so poor, my father had taken me to Gikomba, and I bought mitumba shoes, mitumba shirt, mitumba t-shirt, a mitumba jacket, mitumba socks, even mitumba underwear. That's when I took a flight on the 11th of August when I was only 20, going to turn 21, and went to the United States. When I landed there, I had lost my voice because of the long trip and it was so confusing. But I was shocked because I found a country where there's tarmac roads everywhere. I found a country where there's water in every house. Electricity never goes off. You never hear of blackouts. And good roads. And then the surprising thing is that in Kenya, we are a very prayerful nation. Tunaenda kesha, tunaomba usiku mchana, shakarara, Bwana asifiwe, shakarara, usiku mzima, din, tunasifu. Huko hakuna kitu kama kesha. I went to a Baptist church because I grew up a Baptist. And after we finished our Bible study, we went for a drink. I thought we were going for sodas. We went into a bar. I walked around and I found that some of the churches had been converted into pubs because people are not going to church. And then I asked myself, what is wrong? Here in Kenya, we are praying all the time. Tunaomba Mwenyezi Mungu, shakarara, we are so religious. But yet in the US, where religion now is becoming it's not as popular, it's not as big, where Christianity is on the decline, they seem to be blessed more. They have good roads. Sisi huku tuko na pothole, hakuna maji, shida za kawaida, bad politics. Then I asked myself, what did we do wrong? I was a bit confused. I thought, does God hate us? Then eventually I found out it's about leadership. It's about the way we make our choices. This aspect of tribalism in our country. This aspect where people all the time think that mtu wangu lazima aingie, kabila langu. And these are colonial mentalities that were given to us to control us. It's not there in the US. Yes, there are different sexes, there are different what you'd call groupings, for example, or affiliations. There's white Anglo-Saxon, there's you find the Irish, you find the African Americans, that they were called Black Americans. Before then, during the Martin Luther King days, were called the Negroes, and all this, and the Native Americans, before people used to call them Red Indians, and then there's the Hispanics, the Mexicans. Yeah, there are different groupings. But more so, you find that in the US, people vote for candidates according to their policy and what they can bring and their history. Unlike us, who tend to vote for the biggest thief, then we are surprised if they steal. The biggest killer, and we are surprised when they kill. Or people who we think are just affiliated to us by tribe. And tribe is something that has really ruined the continent of Africa everywhere. So today I'm proud to be a Kenyan. I'm proud to be a country where majority of people are the young people. And I want to tell you that the reason I'm running for president, the reason my party Maendeleo Chap is going to field a candidate in every ward, every constituency, every corner, every governor's office, every office, women rep, MP, Senate, is because we want to change Kenya for real. I want us to be like the United States, to be like Australia, to be like the UK, to be like South Africa, to be like countries whereby resources are generated and they are used efficiently for the service of our people. So those are my introductory remarks, and so I'm open, I'm very excited about this session. It's a good afternoon, so I say good afternoon, and let's keep the questions coming. Let me see who has anything to say. I'm seeing somebody saying my tribe is Kenya. Asante Sanda. It is true, my tribe is Kenya. Thank you, Lily. Asante, wengine wananiambia they love me for real. Asante sana. And yes, I'm the future president, God willing, because as was shown by Kipchoge, no person is unlimited. You can be born, live in the slums, and still be the president of the Republic of Kenya. It's all about what do you offer. It's not about me. It's not about one person. It's about us as a people and what we're able to offer. Do you have any questions that you'd like me to answer? Naona Nelly anasema nimpatie kazi na anacheka sana. And this is what I'm talking about, The work of government is not to give people jobs. The work of government is to create an enabling environment for there to be employment. You see, in many countries in the West, the developing economies, they always talk about what is the rate of unemployment, how many people are looking for jobs and have gotten jobs. Because jobs come from industrialization. But then, how do you get industrialization when you've got bureaucracy up to here? Kenya is so bureaucratic. It's so bureaucratic. I think I can confidently say that we as a people are foolish when it comes to the way we handle our affairs because of bureaucracy. Why do I say that? I went to Rwanda the other day, beautiful country. To register a company, it takes you only 6 hours to register a company. How much do you pay? 0. Within 6 hours, you get a registration license, you get a PIN number, you get a city license, you get all the documents. Within 7 hours, you can actually go and open a shop and continue with your business. In Kenya, ni hapa, na hapa, na hapa. To get a business registered in Rwanda, in South Africa, in Serbia, in some of these countries, it will take you less than 2 weeks from overseas to bring in and start building a factory to provide jobs for people. In Kenya, it will take you 18 months if you are lucky and you've bribed the right people, or 2 years. That is where we're losing. We've got all these roadblocks. So when I'm president, within my first 100 days, I'll remove a lot of this bureaucracy. Unaomba loan asubuhi, unaipata jioni. Remove these constraints on moving money so that money can flow. People want money in the pocket. We've created a lot of bureaucracy here, and the bureaucracy does not help. So I hear you when you say you want to get a job. Any other question? Are there people who are saying that you cannot lead Kenya? You see, let us get out of these myopic feelings. Hata wewe unaweza ongoza Kenya. You see, we've been so controlled by politics of sycophancy that you believe that it is only huyu ndio anaweza, huyu hawezi. Kwa nini unasema mimi siwezi? Mbona unafikiri wewe huwezi? Kama huwezi, mimi naweza. Mimi najiamini, I can do it. I can transform Kenya the way I've transformed Machakos. Yes, people ask me, oh, you've not done this and this in Machakos. And I tell them clearly, yes, I haven't. Why? Because Jomo Kenyatta was president for this country for 15 years. Does it mean that we have tarmac roads in every part of Kenya? Does it mean you've got water in every household in Kenya? Does it mean you have electricity in every corner? Does it mean you've got 5-star universities? No. Moi was president for 24 years. Did he do everything? No. Mwai Kibaki, who I worked for, and I love that man, very good leader. He worked very hard. Does it mean that we've got a factory in every setting? No. Uhuru Kenyatta, has he put electricity in every household? One leader cannot do a lot, cannot do everything, but you can do something that is significant to change lives. The 20% that creates the 80%. And I'm proud to say that I have transformed Machakos to be a county like no other in this country. And on the basis of that, the best president of this country would need to be a governor who is tried and tested, who has been able to work in the national government, a governor who is able to also understand the problems of the county governments, a governor who understands how Kenya runs. That's a proper person. Somebody ataingia na aanze kazi, sianze kujifunza kazi. Asante sana, those telling me I can do it and telling the other people waende huko. Naona wengine wanasema wacha waende huko, which is very good. And I want to thank you for now. There's a question about healthcare that I'd like to reply to. Somebody says, why is healthcare dying in Machakos? Healthcare is not dying in Machakos. For those who are watching, before I answer that very pertinent question, because we've got challenges in Machakos and healthcare currently, is because I hope somebody is taking these notes. There's something about VAT there that I've seen that is very important. I'd like to answer it. Now, you see, when I came to Machakos, there were no ambulances. People are being carried by mkokotenis. People are being carried using wheelbarrows. A shame. You could smell the maternity of Machakos Level 5 Hospital, that time General Hospital, 200 meters from the hospital. It was dirty. I transformed the hospitals. I transformed it. Machakos hospitals are now the cleanest in all government hospitals in the country. I can say that with no fear of contradiction. In every corner, I have built 10 new community hospitals across. I have revamped what are called, level 4, level 3 hospitals, health centers. I have made them function and work. I have bought ambulances, 80 in the county. Now they're about 100, initially about 80. There is one in every administrative location that you call, it picks you. We have cut down deaths. As a result, so many kids are being born today who could have been died on the roads. That's why you don't hear of kids called Mwanzea, kids called Zelani, from Cumberland, from Ukambani, from Machakos, because that means born of the road. Now kids are being born in hospital. In actual fact, the registrar of person told me there's going to be a problem in Machakos very soon. I said, why? He said, because a lot of children are being born in hospitals are being called Alfred Mutua. Nikamwambia si wangu, akasema I know. It's because the parents say the child survived because of being carried by that ambulance, ya Alfred Mutua, maternity yenye baji moto ya Alfred Mutua, because it's about service to our people. When that's said and done, Machakos has universal health care. That means that you go to hospital, you are treated for free. You go for theater, it is free. You go for cancer treatment. We are the only country with a cancer center. Why? Because Kenya has become a country of a few billionaires and very, very, and millions of people are very poor. If you're rich, you get cancer, you go to India, you go to Singapore, you go to South Africa. If you're poor, you die, then we say, we loved you, but God loved you more. As if God loves the poor more. Nikasema najenga cancer center. You can get biopsies done, you can be treated with chemotherapy, now we'll add a radiotherapy machine, because it serves the people. At a bill of 20 million, it is free of charge. When we are receiving funds, the UHC, we are doing very well. When those funds were removed, we got a challenge because the national government was not giving us our money on time. And then KEMSA, where we are mandated to buy goods from for a long time, did not have essential commodities. For example, the other day we paid KEMSA money, we didn't even get a single glove. They didn't have gloves, they were not brought in. So in the government, we've paid and there's no drugs, there are no drugs coming in, gloves coming in, it becomes a problem. So you find that in Machakos hospitals, you're going there, the doctors are there, the nurses are there, everything's there, but you can't get treated without being asked to go and buy a glove, because not because of my fault, but because of the bureaucracy I was talking about. We've been able to sort that out. I'm expecting that starting from next week, by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday there, those stories will be stories of the past, because now we have decided we are going to source outside KEMSA so that our people do not suffer. So I want to apologize to all the people who've been going to Machakos hospitals and being told, enda nje kwa x-ray, nunua glove, enda unue dawa. It's because of that bureaucracy, and I've been able to tame it. I had very many meetings, and now we'll go back to the Machakos that you know about. There's somebody asking me about roads. Let me see what is. I'm here to get questions from my WhatsApp groups. Somebody should be able to send them to, because I can't read and look at it at the same time. Now, somebody is saying thank you because we're quite annoyed because of going to the hospitals and not being able to whatever. No, let's talk about roads and also talk about roads and also about drainage system. Kuna mtu ananiambia tell us about your catch. I don't have a catch. Mimi ni kama lava. Niko single na enjoy. So I don't have a new catch. If you have a new catch, you will know. And I want to tell you that I take selfies every day with people I don't know. I go places, I'm humble. I go to a supermarket, I'm passing by a road, somebody says, Governor Mutua, Alfred, can I take a picture with you? I agree to take pictures. I take pictures with men, I take pictures with women, young men, young women, old men, families, I take pictures. Because I'm standing with a lady or a gentleman does not mean that I even know those people. So that is why you don't see me holding anybody. If I have a catch, you'll see me holding my catch. If I have somebody, you'll see me holding my person. And so my private life is private, so let us not go there. And lakini I'm very, very happy, by the way. I'm very, very happy, and mbele iko sawa. Now, the roads. The challenge we have is that road construction in this country is very expensive, quite expensive. We don't have the resources to build the roads. You find that when I became governor, I found that Masinga constituency did not have a single tarmac road. A whole constituency. I built the Kivandini road to Masinga. The first kilometer tarmac road they have with that. But President Uhuru Kenyatta promised the Kalakala road to Matu, was never done. It was one of those things. I have built more kilometers of tarmac road than any other governor, but I don't have the resources to do everything. I know the people of Syokimau cry out about the roads. We have a problem with the Githunguri road. The contractor had come to the ground. They cut our money during COVID. The contractor said unless they are paid a certificate, they cannot go back. Now we've just paid them, and I'm expecting them to get back to Kinka Road, in Kinka Airways Road, and work on that, and a few contracts in Githunguri. So the challenge are the roads. If you go to a place called Ndidhini, Muthesia, you find people still carry bodies on their back. Why? Because the roads are impassable. They get to a point where they can only carry coffins with their back. Those are my priorities. I've sent my tractors there. We have improved, but I cannot do everything. I wish I had more resources from the national government, more resources from the county government, so that I could have a bigger basket. That is why I want to be a president of this country, because with the resources in the national government that I've done my calculations, I want to build 50 kilometers per constituency within 2 years. That will cost me about 252 billion shillings. I've calculated 50 kilometers in every constituency of this country of ours. Another 2 years, I build another 50 kilometers. You know, that is 100 kilometers per constituency. Think about how that will open this country. Plus the super highways that I want to put, cutting across the country, the railway lines through the public-private partnership. Why should I use money of the government to build trains? Why can't I do like South Africa, like Italy, like England, like South Africa, like the US, like Australia? Let the private sector build, charge people, regain their money, and then hand them over to us in 20, 30 years. Use other people's money. But in Kenya, ukijaribu kufanya PPP right now with the national government, you are frustrated to death. Fanya hivi, 7, 10 years. PPPs in Kenya will be passing within a month. Wacha watu wajenge. Counties will be allowed to do PPPs. Other people's money. Watu wafanye biashara, waandike watu, Kenya iboom. Those are the ideas that I want to bring as the president of this country. So infrastructure goes also with drainage, and open up with drainage. And I've looked for money like the Belgium program where I'm trying to do proper drainage and work that are doing, the World Bank funded projects in Mavoko especially, and other parts of this country. Thank you for those who are saying I can be president, but wakati uno mtu mwingine nawaambia kwamba mtapigwa na mazingaombwe na mshangao, mtapigwa na butwa. Wakati mtaona tukienda Ikulu ndio tubadilisha hali yetu ya maisha, kwa sababu sisi hatuwadanganyi watu wetu. Kuna mtu anasema don't worry, kila mtu ni single. Sio kila mtu, kuna wengine acha tuachie hapo. Cup of tea. Thank you. There's somebody saying some people are very petty, and somebody say, why does your administration employ only elderly people? I'd like to tell you that if you look at the statistics of my nearly 7,000 employees, you'll find that 95% are below the ages of 40. So you cannot accuse me of employing old people in my government. So they're very, very young people in my government. 95% below the age of 40. Asante sana. Kuna mtu ananiambia niachane na Afro Cinema, niachane na kazi niende kwa Cobra Squad. At least mimi nilijenga Cobra Squad. Wewe umejenga nini unanitukana? You know, some people insult you without knowing that they're building you. Mimi ni kama mbegu. I'm like a seed. You plant me, ukinizika chini, mimi namea. So, you know, you attack me with Cobra Squad. It's good because I made Cobra Squad. I bought my first house in Nairobi using money from Cobra Squad. I made 25 million out of season 1 of Cobra Squad. How much money have you made from your productions as you insult me? So, you know, let's think broadly. You know, my job is to make people like me and others who grew poor like me, who are struggling, to make as much money as I've been able to make through my business ventures, through doing things in a different way. And that is critical. So, watu wakisema Afro Cinema, rudi kwa nini? Afro Cinema has money. You know, Cobra Squad has money. And how much money do you have yourself? So stop this sycophancy. Open your brains and see the opportunities that are out there. Show me the money is what you should be telling me. Mutua, show me the money. I want to show you how you can make money. I want to show you you can have more money in the pocket. That's what we need to be able to work through. And also show you that the party of Maendeleo Chap Chap means that it's a party that is about you and about your life and about getting more money into your pocket. Kuna Bernard niambia nimpe kazi na niambia kwamba kuna kazi, and I explained kabisa about that. Thank you Claire telling me to go for presidency, and asante sana Bwana Rotich for all those. Thank you very much. Asante Ankole. So I'm waiting. Let me see some of the comments that have been sent to me, that I might have some of the questions that I might ask. Now, Geoffrey Nzea is asking about a road of Waimunu via Yadhui, Ikalasa up to Tulia Market, and they're asking whether we'll be able to tarmac it. We're working on a program. I was able to do the road from Masi to Mudedeni, going all the way to Miu. And my plan is, if I get some more money, is to do that road all the way to the area of Kibaoni. That is one of my priorities. Food security. Joseph Mudeng is asking about food security. Now, this is next to healthcare. I'm proud about health security. When I became governor of Machakos, Machakos was in the list of countries or regions being given food relief. A shame. I lived in the Middle East, Dubai, UAE. I traveled to Lebanon, Beirut. I traveled to around the Middle East. They get very little rainfall. Machakos receives more rainfall than Lebanon, Israel, UAE, Oman, all Qatar, all combined. But you don't hear anybody being fed in UAE. You don't hear of them getting food relief in Israel. Why? Yet they receive less rainfall. I decided to use my brains. And I have to say, it's not my idea. It's something I copied from Malawi. The president of Malawi did something. He realized that what he needed to do is to increase the yield. It's bottom line, thinking like a business person. Increase the bottom line. So I decided to do like what they did in Malawi. I bought tractors, 40 tractors for every ward that we have in Machakos, plowing for free. So that now, if you have 1 acre that used to harvest 20 bags during good rains, you have 20 bags and you're okay. If you have 2 acres, you can harvest 40 bags. When the rains have failed and they are low, you go back to harvesting 20 bags, which is enough. You have a bumper harvest now because you have 2 acres. If the rains fail kabisa, you go down to 10 bags, which is better than when they were rained by kabisa, you are going to 0. As a result of that, plus other initiatives such as the free seeds. I give free seeds, I give subsidized fertilizer to my farmers, especially the poor. I give free chickens to households. I've given millions of chickens free of charge to households. I have done greenhouses. I've worked on a program of water whereby I've been able to dam what are called river weirs. You know, river weirs, dam river weirs, and also create what are called ponds, dams in every location of Machakos, and close to 550, close to 600 now we are going with those dams. People are undertaking irrigation. I bought machines to dig for water, and instead of giving contracts, I bought county machines. And so far we've dug over close to 650 boreholes, equipped them with solar, majority of them. And now people have water. The reach is big. I mean, it's not, the need is bigger than the supply right now. But I've dug more boreholes in Machakos County than have been dug by all the other 46 governors combined in Kenya. What has that done? As a result of that, Machakos now is getting to a self-sufficiency. We are no longer in the list of counties that are given food relief. I say amen to that. God has been good to us. But it's because of that subsidy program that I started. Now we've got a very good program called the quarter acre program, whereby you just a quarter acre, you dig a small dam. Doesn't matter if you don't get enough rainfall, a small dam. And then within that quarter acre, we tell you the products to, the kind of plants to grow. Garlic, you look at managu, we look at products that, pilipili hoho, that have a higher yield, have a higher cost in the market. So that you grow those ones using the little water that you've got, then you can be able to sell those and get money in your pocket. Once you are rich, hata ukiwa na njaa namna gani because of your small project, you can go to the supermarket and buy unga of maize that is grown in Kitale. You can buy mboga that is grown in Kiambu. You can buy fruits that are grown elsewhere in the country. You can buy kitungu from elsewhere, mnyanya from elsewhere, because you have money in the pocket. The same way people in Nairobi do not have farms, but they have work, they have money, they can go to the kiosk and buy unga, buy nyama, etc. Na unaenda nyumbani unachinja kuku because I've given food free seeds. So that's one of my programs that I'm doing. There's also another one from what's your plan about the pioneer UHC health workers who are entrenched of their contract expired? Now the challenge we have here is that the UHC workers were employed by the national government. As it is right now, my wage bill is bloated because of healthcare workers. So I cannot promise I'll absorb them, but as Council of Governors, we are negotiating with the national government to see whether they can be absorbed in that way. Samuel is from Elbagon asking, I said someone has been lying that they have built more roads. You know, these are Vision 2030. How can you trust such aspirants? Yeah, there's some people out there are lying that they have built roads and they go opening roads that they haven't built. And these are projects that started with Kibaki or have been built by Uhuru and others, and people are taking credit. But this is where you need to, you know, look at every candidate. Umulize ilijengwa na nani, ilijengwa namna gani? Because najua I always joke and say that the government of Uhuru and Ruto, because you can't separate the two, Uhuru and Ruto, or rather the Jubilee government, is the fairest government, is the most fair. Haina ubaguzi. Serikali Uhuru na Ruto haina ubaguzi, because whether you voted for it or you did not vote for it, you are suffering. Kama ulipigia kura ama kuwapigia kura, uko na mateso. Kenya ni ngumu, maisha imekuwa ngumu. And it's because of this empty politics of push and pull. You know, a captain hapa anajaribu kufunga mpira na deputy captain anajaribu kufunga mabao into their own goalpost. Hii mvutano has been very bad for this country and this economy. Let me Anthony, 10 years down the line at the river, stadium has not been constructed. Leta jibu nisikie. Yes, we started the project of Mavoko Stadium, which I hope to complete by the end of this financial year. I didn't start at the River Stadium a long time ago. I just started when it began during my second term. It's part of the priorities, but the money was slashed during COVID. We were getting less, less than we used to get 100%, or get about 60% of the money we had. So we've had challenges in that. Plus now the requirement of paying pending bills first is a challenge. But the Kombe Stadium is nearly done. We're building a stadium in Masii. We've got another one going on in a place called Kenye. So we've got these stadiums that are coming up. So I'll deliver stadiums and much more before I leave office. Somebody's saying, why do we have... somebody's saying, what have you transformed Machakos except planting flowers along the highways? This is Joseph John Jr. Joseph John Jr., please, I forgive you for your ignorance. Please, ingia gari, kuja Machakos, because you can't be from Machakos. Go to any village and ask them to show you a ball by Mutua. Go to the hospital and knock yourself out or on the road and see whether an ambulance will not take you to hospital where you'll be treated for free because you'll be dying. Come to Machakos also. Look at the real estate and the way it's grown. Go and look at the roads. So stop speaking out of ignorance. Kuja Machakos ujione transformation. Which other county government has built stadiums? I built the fastest stadium it's FIFA approved. And I thank my brother in Kisii has built a stadium. My brother in Kakamega has built a stadium. And I'm still building more stadiums. We lead, others follow. Somebody called Robert Boyd is asking about Syokimau roads, which I already addressed. Somebody is asking about an automated waiting card number machine. Queues, push and skips are so much. And this is something that I asked my team to do. So my team, can you note this? We had asked my team to do this. And I get angry because I tell people to do things, they don't do things. So ukianza kufuta watu kazi, usistuke. It's automated. Unafinya, unaambiwa, for this, go here. For this, go here. Very, very simple. They have them in banks, but kwenda kwa serikali, watu inakuwa ngumu sana. So my people tell Waziri wa Health. Hiyo ni kitu nataka kufanya. Somebody is asking about Formula 1. The track is nearly 70% done. and I'm actually in conversation with motorsport enthusiasts in this country. We should, by March of this year, have a motor rally race in the Formula 1 track. It will be normal cars as we test the track. So I'm quite excited. So the promise I made, it will be realized. Somebody is asking about ECD teachers, and they are poorly paid. It's because of the government rates. You see, we don't set the salaries. Salaries are set by the remuneration commission. Salaries and remuneration commission. And if I pay you 1 shilling more, then that will be deducted from my salary. So it is up to us to lobby, and we've been lobbying as governors to get ECD teachers paid better. When I'm the president of this country, I'm going to review the system because teachers should be paid even more. I am where I am. I'm speaking eloquently because of my great teachers who taught me at Toy Primary, Dagoretti High School, and Jamhuri High School. They are the ones who taught me how to speak properly, how to read, how to be the man I am today. And so teachers should be compensated properly. Somebody's talking about amending the CDF funds. Thank you very much. And setting up cottage industries. When I'm president of this Republic of Kenya, in my manifesto, I talk about industrialization. If you go to China today, there is basically a factory in every village. My intention is to build a factory in every constituency using government funds like they do in China. Build it and they will come. Building what they call business parks. Unachimba maji, unaweka stima, unajenga warehouse, unaleta investors, wanaingia, wanaanza kujenga. Cottage industries take off. You can't tell people just start cottage industries. Enable the environment so that when people come, it is simplest. Build roads. These 50 kilometers I'm building per every constituency is to connect these cottage industries to the marketplace. That is how you grow the economy. I have thought through the whole process. Somebody is asking about faith-based organizations, and one of the things that I'm doing and I've done in Machakos is to include faith-based organizations in my governance so that we'll be able to help each other. For example, the work of taking care of widows, the work of taking care of the vulnerable, the social, the homes for the children should be the work of the religious sector, like they do in Australia, where I did my doctorate, whereby they apply for loans, and not for loans, for grants from my government, and they're given the grants. Somebody is asking about a package for the graduates from tertiary institutions and for the unemployed youth and unskilled youth in various ways. You see, in Machakos, I realized one day, I was driving home, and I stopped by some young people. So, Governor, tupatie kazi, nataka kazi. I said, okay, I'm building a hotel. I was building my hotel. I said, nataka plumber. Kuna plumber aende pale. Wakaangalia wanasema, Chalo yuko wapi? Oh, Chalo amepata kazi ameenda huko. Nikasema, okay, give me an electrician because I need about 2 electricians. I wamutesia hii na mwalolo. Mindie eva? Oh, mindie yani. Give me a trained mason. Okay, give me. And I realized the problem with a lot of young people, they don't have skills that are transferable for day-to-day activity. That is why I've made tertiary education in Machakos, the village polytechnics that belong to the county government of Machakos. Education is free of charge for my young men and young women. You go there and get a skill. All you have to do is show up. You want to be a mechanic. You want to be to know how to be a good tailor. You want to do beauty. You want to do all the things that matter. As a Machakos born or a Machakos resident, a voter from Machakos, a young man, a young woman, you can walk to one of the 41s and they will not kick you away. You'll be admitted, you go through the process, you'll be taught for free so that you can have the skills. So that is what I'm doing, because I'm giving you something. Nakupatia jembe ya kulima. Ndio ukikutana na shamba unalima. Education is key. So those are some of the things that I've been able to do in Machakos. There's somebody talking about water shortage in Matu, and also the water. I'm aware of that, and I talked about the water and the things that we're doing. And somebody is asking about us trying to outdo Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. We're not trying to outdo him. All we are saying is that we need a change in leadership. We need a change. You know, let me tell you something about Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka should be respected. I see people insulting him and I get very angry. Nobody should ever insult him. He's been our leader. He's been a leader in this country, a vice president to boot. But he's not wired towards development. He's not wired towards the realities of today. He's the old KANU style of power and control. And it's very unfortunate because he can do a lot of good. I had they tried to impeach me in Machakos through Wiper, his people, because of him pushing for me to be impeached. When they wanted to fold Makueni County, when it went all the way to the president to set a committee, it was still in Kalonzo Musyoka. When they tried to impeach Charity Ngilu and we intervened, it was still in Kalonzo Musyoka. When you've had governors in the region being accused of corruption, things being sent to EACC for investigation, it's being done by plans where he sits at the table and plans because he wants to control. And anybody who seems to be lifting up and going up, and I'm going rungu. Let me give you an example of why I have a problem with Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. In 2013, I looked at the examples of Serbia and other countries that were so down but are now very rich. And I realized that we had land sitting there that I could give 2,000 acres to investors, even 1,000 acres to investors, to put up factories and many other things. I invited investors to come to this country. Even President Uhuru Kenyatta came to Machakos and launched the program. I had the man who built the tallest building in the world, Burj Khalifa, a man called Mohammed Alabar. He came to my office in Machakos. He met the president. He signed an MOU. He sent his experts. They did soil sampling. They did a plan to build the largest shopping mall in Africa, to employ over 50,000 people with roads and network connections. He signed the dotted line. We had the manufacturer of Neso Foods came to my office, signed. Actually, I met them in Dubai, those ones. We had Ashok Leyland, met them in Nairobi. They were sent to me, referred to me, President Uhuru Kenyatta, signed to build a factory to employ our people. We had companies and hospitals coming in from Japan, from Singapore, from all over the world. So you can start tourism. Nairobi Hospital, everything were coming to Machakos. We had a whole plan, sports stadiums, all paid for by other people's money, providing over 500,000 jobs to my people and in extension to the people of this country. What happened? Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka and Wiper Party, they sponsored Senator Johnston Muthama to go to court and get an injunction that you cannot give land to investors. You cannot give public land to investors. Myopic thinking, because anasema hii city kijengwa, hizi railway lines kiekwa, Mutua will get popular. Wacha tukanyagia Mutua chini. Lakini their children are okay. They have money to send their children abroad. They have money to have beautiful cars and swimming pools in their homes. What about the children of Machakos? What about the poor people in this country of Kenya? They went to court. The case took 6 years in court, or 5-6 years. Eventually it was thrown out. By that time, when I sent a title to Mohammed Alabar, he laughed at me. He said, "You think we can wait for you to finish your stupidity in Kenya?" He split the money in Kampala and put the other money in Angola. So me, I tell people, when you ask me for jobs, go to Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, if you support him, and tell him to give you a flight ticket and take you to Museveni to give you your job that is in Uganda that you should have had in Machakos County, that should have had in Kenya. And they ask you, tell him to give you a ticket and take you all the way to Angola to get that job. It went there. Neso Foods, wakaenda Egypt. Ashok Leyland, wakaenda South Africa. Rich people with money who want to invest will not wait for you to continue with your stupidity of empty politics, of pulling against ya kuvutana chini, where people suffer. And that is the problem we have in this continent. We have been told that Africa is the richest continent in the world, yet we are the poorest people in the world. Why? Because of myopic thinking. People think about themselves and their big stomachs and their families. We don't think about the common good. We need a change of leadership. We need a revolution. We need a generation change to usher in a new dispensation. People who think about the country, who think about the welfare of the mwananchi, of the normal person. And that's where I come in. So that's a problem we have still with Kalonzo Musyoka. As a person, we are okay. But his thinking, his control mechanism, his Kanu era politics are myopic. They cannot transform Ukambani. They cannot transform other people. They cannot transform Kenya. So why would I hang around somebody like that when I know that? When you say let's have unity, unity is good. But unity towards end, unity towards poverty, unity towards suffering, or is it unity so we can be like Singapore or Malaysia or like the tech economies? I think you have my answer there. I answered about some of these things. Now, somebody is asking about the economy and bottom-up approach, and to explain about industrialization and also about the economy. Now, my economic philosophy is called broadening the base. The Kenyan problem is not about bottom up coming up. No. It's not about the top and the bottom, at the bottom up approach. It's not a bottom up approach. The problem with this country is that the base is not broad enough to accommodate all of us. When you do a bottom up approach, you're just tackling the small problem here, but how do you get it to a place where everybody succeeds? Because you're tackling the very bottom. I want to tackle whereby we grow the economy to have a middle class society so that people at the bottom can now come up to the middle class society. A bottom up approach will come up and there's nothing, there's a vacuum, there's nothing. Utakuja juu alafu nyote mtaanguka because the economy will not be able to hold you. All economies that have grown, if you look at fiscal decisions, you look at macroeconomics, if you go back to the economics of capitalism, and you studied economics, you realize that it's about the law of supply and demand, it's about consumerism, it's about people having money to purchase, it's about access to credit by being able to purchase, it's about owning homes. Now, how do you grow the economy? You grow the economy by ensuring that there is money in circulation. You broaden the base. You remove the bureaucracy. You pump money into projects like the factories and building in every constituency, eventually to every ward. You go heavy on infrastructure development, the way I am doing, and all that. You provide what incentives for people to be able to get education, for people to continue. You start a program of adding value to agriculture, which is very important. Value addition to agriculture. So that now, in every area where food is grown, you cannot be able to send that food or you cannot be able to export that food unless there's value addition to it. I will ban exportation of food without value addition, unless it is a raw product that is eaten that way like avocados. Lakini hatu inatuma vitu inatengenezwa alafu inarudi Kenya kama juice. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Wacha watu wakunywe juice. And we don't even need to target Europe. We don't even need to target Australia. The biggest market right now is the African continent. It's called the sleeping giant. Look at China. Everything you have is basically Chinese. Even you, I bet, if I looked at you closely, I'll say you're Chinese because the shoes you're wearing are probably Chinese. The socks you're wearing, the trouser you're wearing or dress you're wearing is probably made in China, or the fabric is made in China. The uzi ilikuwa made in China. If you're wearing glasses, they are made in China. TV unaangalia imetengenezwa China. Kitu imekalia, fabric imetoka China. You're basically Chinese, but it's in Kenya. Why can't we produce all those things, toothpicks, everything, for the African market? Instead of people in Angola, in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Benin, in Togo, in DRC, importing things from China, why can't they import them from Kenya? The region. So that is how I'm going to grow the economy. Kenya will be one of the richest regions, one of the richest countries in the world. Because I have thought through, I tried it, I saw Mwai Kibaki worked on it. It's very, very simple. We just need a good leader who is focused in spending the money of the government in creating an enabling environment. 20% is all I need. 80% will be provided by the private sector. Kamuri is saying they are from somewhere else. They are watching. Thank you. Somebody is talking about being the organizing secretary of TVET students. This is a gentleman and saying that they've got more people with skills and no jobs. And this is where I come in. Thank you very much. And where you're talking, we expect politics to be flooded in a few years. It's true. And that is why you need somebody like myself who is already thinking ahead. With this education system, tutapeleka wapi? So we need to start building those factories now and creating, getting the markets across Africa. We need to get more people into agriculture. The world needs foods, value addition. We can produce food for the whole continent, sell and make money. That's where I'm thinking, because that's a very, very good issue that you bring up, Engineer Lewis Brown Madenge. I totally agree with you, and I see you're wearing very nice glasses, probably made in China. Let me see what other example there is. Kitaka Thomas is saying that serikali imeachilia agriculture sector and livestock. I beg to differ. If you look at the agriculture sector, the free seeds I'm giving, the water program, the tractors program subsidy that is nowhere, I have not let it collapse. The agriculture sector right now, Machakos is no longer given food relief because of the emphasis I have put in agriculture. Livestock, If you come to Machakos, you look at what we're doing in livestock, revival of livestock, the research on livestock, the ability to ile inafanya insemination ya wanyama and livestock. It's big. Look at how I worked hard, lobbying all the time with the President Uhuru Kenyatta until we were able to revive Kenya Meat Commission so that our farmers now have a market for their meat. You know, Kenya Meat Commission was dead. Worked hard. That way you saw me there when we were launching it with President Uhuru Kenyatta, and he did a wonderful job using the military because I care about revival of these industries. There is somebody's talking about ECDs. I think somebody's asking about Philip Kemboi, equalizing life of poor and rich. What you do, if you want to equalize, is there will always be rich people. There will always be poor people. That's a statement of fact when it comes to capitalism. Communism even made it even worse. As you've seen, it was a failed system. It never worked. What you need to do is you broaden the base. That's my economic policy of my little chap. You broaden the middle class. You give people access to credit. You give people access to be able to get businesses going. You give people access to be able to get the documentation and get jobs going. You create an enabling environment to create a wide middle class. This middle class will support the hospitality industry, the manufacturing industry. They will be spending. And you also, at the same time, you build infrastructure, because infrastructure helps people generate money. So that's how you limit, you lift more people from the ground to middle class, and you also lower the gap between the rich and the poor. It's something that has been tried. It's a concept called consumer spending. Let me explain to you consumer spending, because some of you may not understand. You see, consumer spending, let me make it simple, kabisa. Let's simplify it, kabisa. Let's assume there's a shop, and in the shop there's one shopkeeper. Now, if you pour money in the market, that means you build a road and now people are being paid. Somebody will go and buy cooking oil from that shop, and then more people come and buy cooking oil. Then the shopkeeper realizes more people are buying cooking oil and attack an assistant. So employs that kid who left school, doesn't have a job, to come and help buy cooking oil. This kid gets the money, gets paid at the end of the month, anapelekea mama pesa. Mama akipata pesa anaenda kwa ile duka anunua cooking oil. Eventually unakuta ameandika watu wawili cooking oil. Sasa demand imekuwa kubwa because the money now is starting to circulate. Anapigia factory, anasema nataka double order ya cooking oil. Factory inatuma double order. Hiyo double order imetuma, ina realize ya kwamba it needs a night shift. Inaandika more people to do night shift. Hao watu wakipata pesa wanapatia bwana zao, bibi zao, wanaenda wananunua mafuta kwa ile shopkeeper, anaongeza watu, factory inaitishwa more mafuta. Inafanya an additional staffing. Inakuja hapo. Ana realize we don't have enough raw materials. Anapigia mkulima, anaambia mkulima, I need more raw materials ya kutengeneza nini hii cooking oil. Raw materials huko kupatikana, mkulima anaandika more people wafanye kazi ya produce raw materials. Hawa watu anawalipa, wanaenda kwa duka, wananunua nini ile mafuta, inaendelea. It's consumer driven economy. That is why you measure the growth of an economy like the US economy through a consumer driven system. Very important. The second thing in terms of growing an economy that is critical is to ensure that credit is available at the lowest rate. If you go to Australia today, you can get a bank loan for your house and mortgage for 1%. 1%. In the US, you're looking at 0.25%. Less than 1%. Then why in Kenya are we paying 18%? You know, anasema surety unajua nyumba. What do you mean? Kama nanunua nyumba ambayo imesimama, hiyo nyumba ichukuliwe insurance. Si ndio? Hata ikichomeka. But that house itself is surety. So why do you need to charge 18%? There is no risk to the bank. These banks are making millions of money out of us, 18-20%, just because you want to own a home. I'll bring it down to 2%. Less than 2% for you to own your home. Kama nilivyosema, and to do like what they have done in many countries, what they do in Australia, what they have done in countries where they want to help people, is say that once you get married, when you're getting married, we will give you a soft loan as a government. A soft loan, like we set up a fund for you to get about 500,000 to 1 million shillings to purchase in the purchase of your own home. Because I want people to own homes, not to rent. It is pride. You know, you want to have your kids in your own house. If you go to America, you go to England, you go to Australia, you go to Brazil, utakuta kwamba ile nyumba mtu anakaa ni ile utakuta baba yake, mzee wake alizaliwa kwa hiyo nyumba. When they go ushago, walikuwa kwa hiyo nyumba. Na kila mtu akitoka hapo anaanzisha nyumba yake. They are able to purchase their own homes. That is where I'm going, because when you purchase your own home, it means you're paying a very low interest on mortgage, you have more money in your pocket, you go out and spend, consumerism, you're broadening what? You're widening the base. That is my policy of economic revival for our country. Thank you. Mwingine anasema beneficial of the work at Machakos level 5, asante sana. And mwingine knows about mechanics hapo Machakos Kitui Road that are terrorizing people. These are something that has gone on for a long time. It's something that I will get back and we crack on it. Somebody's talking about deforestation and illegal encroachment of land in Kola Mountain. Another one is talking about Mavoko Stadium, which I answered. It's still ongoing. Somebody's asking, dealing with corruption and about Kenyan oil. Now, exporting. Let me start with oil. The other day I went to Nigeria. Beautiful country, Nigeria. But a classic example of something that goes wrong out of a very rich country. Nigeria, Lagos, when I was there, I was basically being run by generators because they have not been able to sort out their power system. You talk to drivers, they tell you they have problems getting fuel. Yet Nigeria is one of the highest producers of oil. We don't want to go that way because there's been plunder of refineries. What we need to do is this. Instead of waiting to do refining of oil all the way in Mombasa or other places, we want to build refineries along the route from Turkana so that you can refine oil in Turkana, in Isiolo, in Nanyuki, and the oil is distributed as petrol across the whole country. And it can even be used to fire up, electric generating plants at very low cost so that our electricity comes down. So I'm going to build refineries. That's part of in my manifesto. Build refineries across the country so that we can harvest this oil. Even before we export any oil out of the country, we should be consumers of that oil. And to prevent misuse, all the money from oil will do like what they do in Norway and Sweden, is put into what you call infrastructure fund, so that it is used for infrastructure. Ndio barabara zetu zikae kama za ngambo. Unaweka barabara mpaka kwa choo. Barabara, street lighting, drainage, yote infrastructure fund. Unajenga sewer systems, all from the oil, because those are the enabling things that make us move proudly. Barabara zinajengwa kila mahali, hakuna shida, drainage systems zimejengwa, sewer systems zimewekwa, mataya barabara, commuting, bus parks, infrastructure system, railway lines cutting across from money from oil. We do it the way they do it in other countries and we'll be okay. But that money should not be put into the exchequer. Alafu watu anza kupigania. Hapana, weka special fund, infrastructure. Let us have a lot of money coming there from the oil. When we sell it, let's build this country for today and also for children who have not yet been born. Somebody is asking about corruption. Now, when it comes to corruption, the biggest problem we have in corruption in Kenya is the punitive area, not even the issue of investigation. ESCC does its investigations, but then when it gets to courts, things get clogged up. Let me explain. There was the classic case of Chicken Gate, whereby people of IBC, the then IBC, were accused of conspiring issues of tender by getting kickbacks. Now, the people who, connived with them in England were arrested, they were convicted, they were fined, they served 3, 4, 5 years in jail, they were released, na wakasoma funzo. Hapa Kenya, kesi haijafika katikati all these years. For me, I'll sit down with the Chief Justice. I'll ask the Chief Justice, how much money do you need to run the judiciary? For you to have special courts 24/7 that handle corruption cases in this country. Aniambie, utufunge macho, we fund the judiciary, fund the judges. Wacha wafanye kazi yao ndio tuseme ndio wameshindwa. And then agree ya kwamba from the time somebody is handcuffed to the time and they take a plea to the time the ruling is given, not more than 6 months. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. You saw the George Floyd case in the US took less than 10 months. Na conviction ikaisha, watu wakafungwa. Here murder cases last years. Here in Kenya, it's all about wadosi na wakubwa. Because when running for office, when there's a petition at any particular time, from the time the petition is filed to the time a ruling is done is 6 months for you to continue holding your seat, or for somebody else for there to be a by-election. If that can be done for the election, why can't you do it for corruption? You see, it's all about the will. It's all about the focus. It's about where we are going. And we start with small corruption. Not only not just the big corruption, small corruption. Because you take care of the, as they say in America, take care of the pennies, the shillings will take care of themselves. And you weed from small all the way to the big shots. Kila mtu, 6 months. Hakuna kutumia ile pesa. Number 2, in addition to that is that your accounts are frozen as soon as you are charged, so that you don't use those funds to fight corruption. And when you're found guilty, your assets are taken and the money is pumped back into the exchequer to be used by the public, Kenyan public. Because we'll assume the money you have, the houses you have, the apartments, everything are proceeds of corruption. Utaona corruption imepungua. Unajua hiziisha kabisa, lakini itapungua. And we'll be able to be streamlined. You go to a place like Rwanda, you never hear of corruption. They never talk about a police officer taking money. Yet they are paid less money than police officers in Kenya. It's a cultural change that we need to have. Let me read some of the things that others asking about joining my party. Karibu sana, I welcome you to join Maendeleo Chap Chap. We'll be conducting a nationwide recruitment campaign beginning in February. So join Maendeleo Chap Chap, especially if you're a young person who wants change. You want a party that believes in democracy, in Maendeleo Chap Chap, in more money to your pocket. You want a party that has ethical people. And if you pigia Maendeleo Chap Chap, you know you're not voting for those people, you're voting for yourself. Ni yeye kona maji ama ni mimi? Somebody asking, there are boreholes in many places. We still have challenges, but you're getting there. Persistent power problem, somebody is asking. One of the things that I'll do as president in my manifesto is to break this KPLC monopoly. You can't have a whole country being with only one provider of power. Your bureaucracy, why one? Why can't we give permission for every county or every region to have their own power production or power distribution company? Watch a Kenye nitupatie stima, let them produce. Then you can decide whether you want to sign up for Kenya Power and others. It is like saying, let's have only one mobile provider, one phone provider. Unakumbuka wa zamani ilikuwa Kenya, ya phone service. Simu moja zilikuwa off all the time. Ding dong ding 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 dong ding 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 ding. Simu imezima. Tukaanza na mobile telephony. Ikapewa one company. Sasa ziko na kampuni nyingi. Moja ikileta shida, we all migrate to the other one. Life continues. That is the private sector mentality that I'll bring. Kenya Power, we are not breaking it. Let it operate as a company. The infrastructure that has been laid there is okay. Let others come in, tap into the infrastructure, provide power. Kenya Power, ikiwa power those zinaenda chini zinazimazima, you send to another one, to another company in your region or other places like they do in the world, and power will be gotten for everyone in the country. That's how I want to deal with Kenya Power. Maana kwa vijana ni kwamba hakuna kitu ya bure. And I want to tell you, vijana, mimi, I don't believe in a handout. I believe in hands up. As a president, as a young people, I want to give you a hand up. Right now, because when I was in Form 2, I stopped going to school because of lack of school fees. Nikafanya kazi ya mjengo, nikachimba, nikafanya hiyo kazi yote because of problems. And as a result of that, mzee wa kanisa akasema kijana chap chap, the late Hezron Waithaka akanilipia mpaka Form 6. Mimi nimejitolea kuanzia February, nikasema sasa na collect majina from all the governors. I'm going to pay for 52 children from Form 2 until they finish their secondary education, and even probably more. The way it was done for me, I want to support other children and give them ability to see a better life because they are poor. In addition to that, I'll be shortly announcing a program that I have of empowerment for the youth. Wache mambo mnasikia wheelbarrow na ingine. I want to do something tangible for the youth, which I'll be announcing shortly. I'll be announcing 2 new projects for the youth as part of my revival, and saying that as a young person who understands the problem doing, it's about money. Young people don't want stories. Wanataka kuonyesha mahali pesa iko. People are ready to work. They want somebody who has ideas, creativity to grow money. I'm looking at the entertainment industry, for example. If you go to the entertainment industry, you will find that in the entertainment industry, there are more people who make a lot of money. Like you go to the UK, for example, US and the UK. Hollywood has a lot of money. See mambo ya NGO na nini. It's because there's money in the entertainment industry. I want to put special emphasis on entertainment. I started Machawood in Machakos, free filming. I want to make it easier for foreigners to come and film in Kenya, grow industry. There's a program called Queen. Queen is a program about the life of Queen Elizabeth. And they had scenes of Kenya when she became Queen while she was in Kenya, the treetops and everything. They had trips of, Prince Philip when he was touring the world in Mombasa and everything. Do you know that those scenes of Kenya were not filmed in Kenya? They were filmed in South Africa and other places. They tried to come to Kenya, bureaucracy was too much. Lipia hii, fanya hii, you can't do this, you can't do this. It was becoming too expensive and bureaucratic just to do a film in Kenya, a few scenes. So they took all that money, all those jobs, all that fame to South Africa instead of money remaining here. That's part of the stupidity that I'll get rid of. Let the entertainment industry grow. Let us have the biggest production companies. Let the music people make their money. Let movies make their money from here. We sell them all over the world. That's what we need to do to grow things. And let me see what we have here. Somebody's talking about our judiciary. Somebody's talking about Matu level 5, that is not Matu level 4 hospital mortuary, that is noted. Some Patrick Zioka is asking about the showers. Yeah, the showers under a pipe dream. It's exactly, you need to have imagination because it was about piping. I have laid over 450 kilometers of pipes across Machakos County from the boreholes that I've dug. Women used to walk 10 kilometers, now they're only going 300 meters. Unaletewa pipe hapo nje, vuta ujiekee shower. Umeelewa? Unaletewa kitanda, unajengewa nyumba, nunua kitanda, tafuta bibi, zaa watoto. Sio lazima hata mimi nikuje nikuzalie mtoto wako. You do, that's a concept behind it. So you need to understand the economic concept behind it. Assure the country security cameras on roads for capturing kidnapping. This has worked for us. We've been able to fight crime in Machakos. As a county government, I invested heavily on security. I put cameras all over Machakos County. They help a lot in crime. Crime in Machakos has come down as a result of that. I was able to supply vehicles to the police. Ukipiga simu ambiwe usiweke mweke mafuta. Vehicles are full. They are there. They are working. So people take for granted. People forget where we are in comparison to where we were. We have really transformed. And you can even see it with the cost of land. In Machakos, you find that before, land used to cost, very little. Now land is very expensive because I've increased the retail value of land in Machakos. My people are benefiting as a result of the economic policies. Somebody saying, are you prepared to be president? Francisco Mbugua, yes, I'm prepared to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. I'm young, I'm energetic, I'll be working hard day and night. I'm creative. I'm even the same age, slightly older than Obama when he became president. So I can do it than JFK. We need somebody who is energetic, somebody who understands the national government, somebody who worked with Mwai Kibaki, the professor of economics, who understands the Kenyan economics, understands the problem of the national government, understands how it is to run a county government and succeed. That's the person you want running this country. Tried and tested. Accessibility, because there are no policies that ensure. I'll get sure, but my team has provided forum of accessibility. And I think what I'll do is, as a result of this, there are many people who don't know what we've done and how they can access. So I'm going to ask my team, put together commercials, put together documentaries, let them air on the TV stations, let us empower people using knowledge about what Machakos has been able to do, what we've been able to achieve in Machakos. Let the documentaries on healthcare so people know it is possible for it to be done, so we don't think it's only Wazungu can do it. Let us be able to do some of those things. Let me see. Let me look again. I'm looking at what people have been able to put it here. Very, very good. And I think we're getting to to the end of our function. It's very, very good. And I'm just looking at your comments. Thank you very much. And thank you, Abednego. Thank you, Lloyd. And about you like my thing, talk about economy. And others are telling me to join other parties. I'm saying I have my own party of Maendeleo Chap Chap. I have to believe in my own party. I can't go to another party. Let me believe in my own party that we're gonna get seats and we grow it. Mimi si mtu wa kurukaruka uko hapa leo, kesho uko hapa, ingine imetoka unaachana yako naenda pana. Stick to my party. I formed this party because I believe in this ideology. And I'm requesting you, please join Maendeleo Chap Chap. Let's stick together. Let's work on it. And I've seen people are watching. Thank you for the good comments. Nganga there. Thank you, Isutsa, Andrew, and etc. etc. So I want to say thank you very much. It is 2 minutes to past. We started at nearly past, and I think 1 hour is long enough for us to have this discussion. And now I want to give you my closing remarks. You know, when I was 15 years old, I wrote a poem called The River of Life, Thayo. They say that a river starts from the mountain and meanders as a small stream. It gets and finds boulders. It doesn't try to roll the boulders. It meanders around the boulders. It goes around the mountains. It grows and grows and grows, and eventually it empties itself into the ocean, bringing life. And such is the life of a human being. You are born, you grow, you develop, and eventually you're able to achieve your goals. Right now, things in Kenya do not seem to be right because of the problems we have, the empty politics, the insults, the lack of hope, the lack of jobs. But the solutions that we seek in our country will not come from outside. We cannot say we want change and yet we are not able to change ourselves to do the right thing. We cannot say, Mutua, you're doing a good job, but then you're voting for somebody else who you're not sure will be able to provide for you what you need to change your life. When you employ a president, you're employing a person to work for you. You need to employ the best. If you like football and you're employing a scorer, somebody who can score, you employ the best person who can score goals, not the person who can drill. You know, you can dribble and not be able to score goals. Mutua is a goal scorer. I've been able to achieve development. I am a safe pair of hands. I'm not the kind of person says, huyu akishinda kenye itachomeka. Huyu akishinda chome kenye chomeka. Huyu tunamwambia ukishindwa kubali. Huyu ukishindwa kubali. Nobody's telling Mutua ukishindwa kubali. Why? Because they know I'm a safe pair of hands. Mutua mimi ni mtu wa amani. Nikishinda, I'll bring everybody together. No enemies. Na Kenya inasonga mbele. Wengine tunaogopa. Huyu akishinda, Kenya tena mna gani? Na huyu kweli atakubali. Na huyu akishinda, Kenya atakubali. Mutua nikishinda, Kenya watakubali. Nobody will have any problem. Because I'm a safe pair of hands. I'm a peacemaker. I'm a uniter. I'm a person who, at the very least, unasema, at the very least, Mutua ataleta maendeleo. Hata kama si vitu ingine, at least Kenya will move, will progress. Because I've been tried and tested. But I want to tell you, in this river of life, do not give up hope. It is very easy to give up hope and to say you will not vote. When you say you will not vote, it is the people who are not aware. The ignorant, if I can call them that in quotes, and it is not an insult. The ignorant, because they lack information and they have been blinded by, empty politics and tribalism, are the ones who are going to vote. And they're going to make decisions for you. And you're going to suffer and suffer. You only have one life. If you die, you don't come back. I'm telling you that you as a young person in this country, you as a Kenyan, you can cause a revolution. We can say enough is enough. Let us have real change. Let us have a generational change. Let us have somebody who is tried and tested, somebody who will change Kenya. And that person who is fresh is Dr. Alfred Mutua, who is one of us. And I ask you for your support, for your vote as we go through this. Others will try to pull us down, attack us, but be focused. And ask you to become one of the people I'm going to call brigade, a member of the brigade ya Mutua, brigade ya Maendeleo Chap Chap, brigade ya Mutua. Sisi ni kama brigade, askari wa Alfred Mutua kusema tutapigania hii kiti ya Alfred Mutua aipate, kwa sababu Mutua akiingia State House, si Mutua ameingia State House, ni sisi tumeingia State House. Utapata haki yako, masomo yako, maji yako, barabara zako, maisha mazuri, kulala bila shida yote. That is the Kenya you want. You're only born once, you die once. In between, maisha ni mazuri. Nilisema juzi, and you've seen it trending, ya kwamba Wakristo wanasema ya kwamba maisha haya yanapita. Kila kitu katika nchi yetu, katika maisha yetu yanapita. Magari mazuri yanapita. Nyumba nzuri ni mambo ya kupita. Pesa ni mambo ya kupita. Kwenda safari ng'ambo ni vitu za kupita. Nasema ndio, hizi vitu zikipita, wacha zipite, lakini wacha zipitie kwangu. Let them come by me too. Wacha nizienjoy. Because maisha ni haya. Maisha ni haya. Na hayo ndio anatakia. Nasema mambo ni fresh na Mutua. In addition to Facebook, I request you please follow me on Twitter so we can keep the conversation going. Dr Alfred Mutua. And also follow me on Instagram and look at some of the photos I have there, because I'll be making some announcement in Instagram. Let's keep this and let's be connected. Mambo ni fresh na Mutua. Thank you and God bless you. Maendeleo chap chap. Maendeleo chap chap. Mambo ni fresh na Mutua. God bless you all. I feel your love.